The Untold Stories of Stansfield Turner, 10 Fascinating Facts. Stansfield Turner was a four-star admiral in the United States Navy and served as the Director of Central Intelligence under President Jimmy Carter from 1977 to 1981. His tenure was marked by significant changes in the intelligence community, controversial decisions, and a leadership style that left a lasting impact. Here are 10 intriguing facts about Stansfield Turner's life and career that shed light on this complex figure. Fact number 1. A promising start, Turner's early life and personal struggles. Stansfield Turner was born on December 1, 1923, in Highland Park, Illinois. His childhood was influenced by a disciplined, strict upbringing that would later shape his military and intelligence career. Turner excelled academically, attending Amherst College in Massachusetts before transferring to the U.S. Naval Academy, from which he graduated in 1946. His time at the academy was formative, instilling in him a rigorous sense of discipline and duty. In 1953, Turner married Patricia Bushy, with whom he had 2 children, Jeffrey and Laurel. Despite his professional success, Turner's personal life was often strained. His deep commitment to his career led to allegations that he was emotionally distant from his family. This perceived coldness extended into his professional relationships, as Turner often maintained a formal, detached persona, which earned him criticism from colleagues who found him difficult to approach. His personal struggles mirrored the broader challenges he faced in balancing his demanding career with the demands of family life. Number 2. Turner's feud with William Casey. After Turner left the CIA in 1981, his rivalry with his successor, William Casey, became a notable public feud. Casey, a strong advocate of aggressive covert operations, was quick to undo many of Turner's reforms, reinstating much of the clandestine workforce that Turner had cut. Turner, in turn, criticized Casey's handling of intelligence, particularly during the Iran Contra affair, which exposed illegal arms sales to Iran and covert funding of Nicaraguan rebels. Turner saw the scandal as an example of the dangers of unchecked covert actions, while Casey viewed Turner's tenure as a period of unnecessary restraint. Their feud highlighted a broader ideological divide within the intelligence community, with Casey representing a more hawkish, covert-oriented approach and Turner advocating for greater restraint and oversight. Number 3. Turner and Iran, a misstep in intelligence. One of the most significant blunders during Turner's time at the CIA was the agency's failure to predict the 1979 Iranian Revolution, which resulted in the fall of Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, a vital U.S. ally. The Shah's overthrow took American intelligence completely by surprise, and Turner bore the brunt of the criticism. His decision to cut back on human intelligence, especially in volatile regions like the Middle East, was cited as a major contributing factor to the CIA's inability to foresee the uprising. Turner later admitted that the agency had been blindsided by the revolution, though he often deflected blame to systemic issues within the U.S. government. The collapse of Iran's monarchy marked a turning point in U.S.-Iran relations, and Turner's perceived failure to anticipate it haunted his legacy. Critics claimed that the Halloween massacre and its impact on the agency's intelligence-gathering capacity played a crucial role in this intelligence disaster. Number 4. Operation Cyclone, Turner's involvement in arming Afghan rebels. Despite his reservations, Turner was involved in the controversial CIA program known as Operation Cyclone, which funneled arms and financial support to Afghan mujahideen fighting Soviet forces during the Soviet-Afghan War. Turner was reportedly hesitant about the long-term consequences of arming religiously motivated guerrilla groups but ultimately approved the operation under political pressure from the Carter administration. Operation Cyclone, one of the longest and most expensive CIA operations, laid the groundwork for future geopolitical instability in the region. Turner later faced retrospective criticism for his role in arming groups that would eventually form the Taliban and contribute to global terrorism. However, at the time, Turner's decisions were seen as part of the broader Cold War strategy to combat Soviet influence. Number 5. Turner's disdain for covert operations. Stansfield Turner's tenure as CIA director was marked by his vocal opposition to covert operations, which he viewed as ethically questionable and often counterproductive. Unlike many of his predecessors, Turner preferred a focus on intelligence analysis and technical surveillance, relying less on clandestine missions. This shift in focus angered many within the CIA, particularly operatives who believed that covert actions were essential for national security. Turner's stance led to a reduction in CIA-backed covert operations, particularly in regions like Latin America and the Middle East. His critics accused him of dismantling the agency's core functions, and his reforms were blamed for intelligence lapses, such as the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan in 1979. Turner's refusal to engage in traditional espionage and covert missions alienated him from much of the intelligence community, cementing his reputation as a divisive figure. Number 6. Controversial CIA reforms, the Halloween Massacre. In 1977, Turner enacted what became known as the Halloween Massacre, a sweeping series of personnel cuts that shook the CIA to its core. As Director of Central Intelligence, Turner sought to streamline the agency by slashing over 800 clandestine service officers, many of whom had built careers on human intelligence gathering. Turner argued that the future of intelligence lay in advanced technology and satellite surveillance, not traditional espionage. Critics, however, saw his actions as reckless and damaging. Former CIA officials, including notable figures like Richard Helms, accused Turner of gutting the agency's operational capability, particularly in the realm of covert missions. The decision generated widespread discontent within the CIA and raised concerns about America's intelligence capacity during the Cold War. Some have even suggested that Turner's reforms were responsible for intelligence failures that followed, such as those leading to the Iranian Revolution in 1979. Number 7. Turner and the Iran Contra affair, a distant critic. Though Turner had left the CIA before the Iran Contra scandal broke in the mid-1980s, his critique of covert operations positioned him as one of the scandal's harshest critics. He condemned the Reagan administration's secret arms sales to Iran and the illicit funding of the Nicaraguan Contras, actions he saw as emblematic of the dangers inherent in covert intelligence activities. Turner's outspoken criticism resonated with those who shared his view that the CIA had overstepped its bounds. His critiques reinforced his stance as a vocal opponent of reckless covert operations, contrasting sharply with those, like William Casey, who defended such actions as necessary for national security. Turner's condemnation of Iran Contra further solidified his legacy as a principled, if controversial, figure in intelligence history. Number 8. Public scandals and speaking out against torture. Stansfield Turner remained an outspoken figure on intelligence matters well into his retirement. In 2007, he made headlines by publicly denouncing the CIA's use of waterboarding and other enhanced interrogation techniques, which had been employed in the aftermath of the 9/11 terrorist attacks. Turner labeled these methods as torture, aligning himself with critics of the George W. Bush administration's approach to counterterrorism. His comments reignited debates within the intelligence and military communities about the ethics of such practices. While some praised Turner's moral clarity, others criticized him for undermining the efforts of intelligence agencies to prevent future terrorist attacks. Turner's willingness to publicly criticize the CIA even after leaving office underscored his commitment to ethical intelligence work, but it also earned him the ire of former colleagues. Number 9. A critic of George W. Bush's intelligence policies. During the early 2000s, Turner became one of the most vocal critics of President George W. Bush's intelligence policies, particularly in relation to the Iraq War. He was highly critical of the intelligence used to justify the U.S. invasion of Iraq, accusing the administration of cherry-picking intelligence that supported their case for war. Turner's opposition to the war earned him praise from anti-war advocates, but it also made him a polarizing figure within the broader defense and intelligence communities. His criticism of Bush's policies, particularly regarding the use of flawed intelligence, reinforced his reputation as an outspoken and independent voice in the world of intelligence, unafraid to challenge both the government and his former agency. Number 10. Turner's legacy, a polarizing figure in intelligence history. Stansfield Turner's impact on the CIA and the intelligence community remains a subject of debate. Some view his tenure as a necessary modernization, while others believe it led to significant setbacks. In his later years, Turner continued to lecture and write, sharing his insights on global affairs. He passed away on January 18, 2018, at the age of 94. Reflecting on his career, Turner once said, "Leadership requires tough decisions, history will judge their wisdom." His life was marked by service, controversy, and a steadfast commitment to his principles, leaving a complex legacy that continues to be analyzed by scholars and intelligence professionals alike.